Beautiful Virgo peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Sam from CancerMoonsTarot, and I'm coming at you guys with your February 2022 tarot reading. As always, readings here are general, so if they resonate, that's awesome. And if not, it's not your message, and if you want to check out my official social medias, you're more than welcome to. That's going to be linked down in the description below. Real quick, Virgo, before we start today's video, in honor of Mercury being in retrograde, I do have here two items I think you would be very interested in. We first have here the Mercury Survival Candle, and we also have here the Moving Forward Soap. Both of these products are crystal healing products, and the intention behind them is to make your Mercury retrograde a hell of a lot easier. So, if you want all the information, all the way from pricing to what the materials are made of and how it benefits you, click the first link in the description below to be up to date with all the info, and definitely feel free to check it out. But Virgo, let's jump on into February, baby, and see what we got. Starting out with the current energies here for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout February 2022. What current energies do we have here for the Virgo peeps? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout February 2022. Let's go ahead and get ourselves the shuffle and see what we got. We got here the Empress, awesome. We also got here the Eight of Swords, and lastly we have here the World card. So, the Empress, the Eight of Swords, and the World for your current energies. You could be connecting with a Libra, since the Empress is here. You also may be dealing with a fixed sign, an Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, or possibly a Leo. But the World, the Empress, and the Eight of Swords. Let's have ourselves a look. I want to say, coming into your month for February, it seems to me like you're currently dealing with a situation where you feel like you're outgrowing something. You know, the Eight of Swords is like, I refuse here to continue to be trapped in a situation that's just not benefiting me. So the World card is a card that signifies out with the old and in with the new. It's about the ending of a cycle so that a new cycle can be born. And the Empress card is basically the energy of outgrowing something or outgrowing a situation. So Virgo, it feels to me like you're outgrowing something. You're not in a position to where you want to be stuck anymore. You're totally outgrowing it. Let's go ahead over here and have a look at what you're dealing with coming into February 2022. What are my Virgos going to be dealing with during this time for February 2022? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. We do have here the Sun card, which I like to see for you a lot. We also got here the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Wands. We got here the Ten of Swords. We got here the Six of Wands. And lastly, we have here the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. So, taking a look at the energies you're dealing with, the Sun, the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Six of Wands, and then the Queen of Pentacles. The Sun card to the Nine of Wands. It's like you've known for a while what would actually make you happy, but you've kept it to yourself. You've known it, you know? It's like you kept this secret to yourself of what would make you happy. You've buried it and locked it away, and you've thrown the box all the way at the back of the basement type of vibe, you know? It feels to me like you buried away what would make you happy. I mean, taking a look at what you're going to be dealing with, though, you got here Ten of Swords, you got here Six of Wands. I do feel like something's coming to an ending, and it's going to be a very successful ending. I do see it completely coming to a stop here. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this is the energy of saying, I now need to start thinking for myself. So Virgo, you know what this feels to me? You've buried your happiness for other people. You've put your happiness in a box and thrown it away for other individuals. So that's the energy you were dealing with. But coming into the month of February, I think you're tired of that. You're ending something here for your own success, for your own happiness, because you're making yourself a priority here with that Queen of Pentacles, and especially with that Queen of Wands as well. It's time for me to embrace myself. It's time for me to make sure that I myself am a priority. I cannot speak when Mercury is in retrograde ever. Okay, Mercury, chill. Let me communicate. But anyways. It's about time that I make myself a priority, is what you're saying here, essentially, Virgo. It's important for me to be one. You know, I've put my happiness on the sidelines for so long, and it's time for me to finally put my happiness first. That's good. That's something I like to see for you. Let's see where things are going, though. Where are things going to be going here for Virgo throughout February 2022? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Throughout February, where are things going to be going for Virgo? And what do we have? We have here the Three of Pentacles, we have here the Knight of Pentacles, we have here the Nine of Pentacles, and we got the Page of Pentacles. Oh my god, Virgo, that's a lot of pentacles. So we got the 3, the Knight, the 9, and the Page. all Pentacles here. So based upon where things are going for you, 3 of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. You're taking each day, one day and one step at a time, while continuing to work on yourself, continuing to prioritize yourself, and most importantly, prioritize your happiness. So you're going slow with making yourself a priority, but also you're going slow with working towards your happiness because it's not an overnight thing, right? Not everybody's happy overnight. It takes time to acquire that, especially when you're starting to put yourself first. It takes time to do all the things you want to do for yourself in the first place. But one thing I will say is that based upon where things are going, you're feeling incredibly confident in the decision that you've made. You are not feeling guilty, Virgo. Maybe in your past you felt guilty for putting yourself first. Maybe in the past you felt guilty, and that's why you've kind of put your own happiness on the back burner while you put other people's happiness in front of you. But there's no guilt here, and that's actually a good thing to feel, you know? It sucks when we feel guilty for putting ourselves first, because at the end of the day, like, we all deserve to put ourselves first, you know? I've always found the idea of being selfish kind of funny. Because selfish, you gotta use context with that, you know? If somebody calls you selfish because you're choosing to make yourself happy versus being that person's sole source of happiness, who's really selfish here? Because isn't the person you're dealing with selfish from wanting you to put your happiness away to make them happy, right? So selfishness has always been an interesting concept, you know? Like, without context, it's very easy to misinterpret selfishness, you know? So nonetheless, you're not feeling guilty, and I'm happy to see that for you. And with the Page of Pentacles, you're making moves accordingly. So based upon where things are going, you are essentially renovating your life here with that Page of Pentacles. You are putting yourself as the priority, and you're making the adjustments in your life that will add happiness accordingly. So this is really good stuff so far. I want to have a look at what you were dealing with, though. Like, what is ending for you, Virgo, or what will you be ending in the month of February? Because there is a situation here we haven't really talked much about, so let's go ahead and get on into that. What was Virgo dealing with that Ten of Swords? What did Virgo have to end in order to bring their happiness to the forefront? What did Virgo have to end in order to bring their happiness to the forefront? And what do we have? We have here the Seven of Wands. We also had 2 cards fall out, so I'm going to take those as well. We have here the Eight of Wands, and then what else do we got here? We also have here the 2 of Wands. So, we got the 2 of Wands, the 8 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, and we also got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So, Virgos, as far as what I'm seeing, based upon what it is you've ended, 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands. You've definitely ended communication here with somebody. And I feel like you've ended communication here with somebody and you've decided to, like, fully block them due to the reason that what you were receiving from them was nothing. 5 of Pentacles. It feels to me like you were such a giver, right? You were giving and giving and giving, and somebody that you were dealing with, or a situation you were dealing with, was taking and taking and taking. And it got to the point where it was completely unequal give and take, you know? You were being the person who was simply providing, and whatever you were dealing with was just simply taking. Now keep in mind, maybe this was a job that was taking from you and barely providing back for you, or this could have been a person. Maybe this was a lover, maybe this was a friend who you felt that was constantly taking advantage of your kindness and all that you had to give, and not really providing much back. So, with the 2 of Wands here, it's like I had to make a pretty clear-cut decision. I felt stuck, I felt trapped, being with somebody who's not giving me what I know I deserve. And now I'm in a position to where I'm saying, you know what? I do deserve the best. And starting with myself, I'm going to go ahead and fix that and make sure that I'm getting the best, you know? So, Virgo, you made that executive decision that if I deserve the best, I got to start with myself first and make sure I'm giving myself the best, you know? Because I've put myself on the back burner for somebody else's happiness, for somebody else's desires, and I've got none of that back in return. So that's how you removed yourself from being trapped. 8 of Swords. That's how you removed yourself from being stuck in a cycle with somebody who really wasn't giving much to you, you know? So I feel like probably for the majority of Virgos, we're talking about a person here, but if not, like I said, it could potentially be a job. Doesn't have to be, though. It could be a lover, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, or it could be your work, you know? So ultimately, you were tired of getting breadcrumbed. You know? You deserved the full chicken cutlet, not just the breadcrumbs. Alright? You deserved the 5-course meal. You deserved everything that you essentially gave this situation. So, by no longer putting your happiness on the back burner and by making yourself a priority and bringing your happiness to the forefront, guys, you're looking towards a pretty awesome month. You're going to be feeling incredibly free. You're going to be feeling very liberated. You're going to be feeling very excited too. And the fact that you're not feeling guilty is good because that means you're not leaving room for manipulation. You always want to be mindful with people, especially people who are big takers. You know, what tends to happen when people are consistently taking from you is that once you cut them off of the supply, usually that leaves them room to try to manipulate you. Usually when they get cut off, they say, "Oh my God, how could you be so selfish? I can't believe that you're putting yourself first when you have me over here." You know, all that bullshit can come in and people can try to manipulate you when you cut them off, especially when they don't really deserve to have you. So I'm happy to see that there is no guilt here coming from you, because if you were in the energy of guilt, you were susceptible to being manipulated. But because you're not guilty here, Virgo, they can't manipulate you. And I'm happy to see that for you as well, because it sucks getting manipulated. Some people are good, okay? A little too good to the point where it's scary. Some individuals are very good at being manipulative. So those are the people you want to watch out for. But like I said, because you're not in the energy of guilt, you're not really susceptible here to be manipulated. So even if the person you're dealing with or the job you're dealing with tries to manipulate you, to make you feel bad and to make you come back, it's not going to work, okay? All right. Let's see what your spirit guides have to say here for the rest of your February. Keep in mind for this portion of the reading, whatever your guides say, it may resonate to anything we just talked about, or it could be a completely random message. But are there any dire or important messages coming in here from Virgo spirit guides during February 2022? Are there any dire or important messages coming in from Virgo spirit guides throughout February 2022? Let's go ahead and have ourselves a look. First card out, we got the Ace of Swords. Next card out, we got the Temperance. We also got here the Fool. And lastly, we have here the Magician. Wonderful. So, the Ace of Swords, the Temperance, and the Fool card. You could be connecting, by the way, because we have here a Temperance, a Fool, a Magician. You might be dealing with a fellow Virgo, an Aries, or possibly a Sagittarius. Let's go ahead and talk real quick first about the Ace of Swords and the Temperance. Your guides are trying to say to you, it's so important to live in your truth. It is so ridiculously important to live in your truth and to live in the essence of who you are, and what you deserve. Everything in life needs to be balanced. You know, there is that force of nature, and that is balance. You know, there is duality in this world as well. There is positive, there is negative, there is light, there is dark, there is balanced, there's unbalanced. So at the end of the day, you deserve as much balance as you can have in your life, Virgo, meaning that you deserve the best, and your guides are reminding you of that. So with the Ace of Swords here to the Temperance, I feel like your guides are always saying, you need to continue to live in your truth. You need to continue to also live in a manner of where you're getting what it is you deserve. Do not let anybody or anything breadcrumb you. Do not let anything give you less than what it is you know you deserve. Is what your guides are trying to reiterate, okay? Now we also have here the Fool card, and we have here the Magician. Be mindful that situations in life are temporary. Certain people that come into our life are temporary. Others tend to stick around. It's okay if you let go and walk away from situations, especially the situations in your life that aren't serving in your highest good. Remember, you don't really owe anybody anything, especially if they're not giving you what you're worthy of. I think that's another thing that your guides kind of want to make prominent. It's like, don't feel obligated, for one, to be somebody else's soul happiness, because at the end of the day, you have to be your own soul happiness, right? Everybody has to be their own happiness. The thing about relationships is that it's not about two halves making a whole. It's about two people who are holding complete within themselves that make a relationship, that complement one another, and add value and love to one another. At the end of the day, you must love yourself. You must be the sole source of your happiness. Other people can add to it, but if they are your sole source of happiness, you're not going to feel and experience true real happiness or true real love. So ultimately here, Virgo, I feel like your guides are trying to remind you, at the end of the day, don't feel like you're obligated, okay, in any way, shape, or form to be the soul happiness or to be the soul love that somebody else needs. Because you can add value, you can complement them, you can add love and happiness into their life, but you don't have to be the source. Everybody should be the source for themselves. I feel like this situation you were dealing with that you're going to end up cutting off in February was kind of similar to what I just spoke about. Maybe the person you're dealing with looked at you as their sole source of happiness. Maybe the person you were dealing with or the situation you were dealing with looked at you as the sole source of love. And that's not really fair to you. You know, people have to love themselves in order to be loved and to give love. So I definitely feel like your guides are trying to remind you, remember that the number one person you're obligated to is inherently yourself. Don't let yourself get sucked into other people, making you essentially make obligations for them. All right, Virgo. Let's go ahead and see your overall outcome for the month of February. What is going to be the overall outcome here for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout February 2022. What do we have for the overall outcome here for Virgo? And what do we got? We got here the Star, and we also got here the Four of Swords. I like that for you because the Four of Swords is about isolating from a situation. So essentially, Virgo, as you isolate from this person, as you isolate from this situation, you now start to align with what is really going to bring in happiness in your life. You've prioritized yourself. You're working towards what you want. You know what's going to make you happy. You're out here this month and doing it. So therefore, that screams alignment for you. The Star card is about getting things into alignment that you want to receive in your life. So get ready to receive a lot of things that are making you happy now that you are open and susceptible to receiving the energy to make you happy. For example, when you weren't prioritizing yourself, how could you receive the things that make you happy if you weren't open to them or, basically saying, these are the things that I want to focus on in my life? You can't. But now that you're open and available, you're ready to receive. So Virgo, now that you're prioritizing yourself, now that you're doing the things that are going to make you content and happy in your life, now that you're putting you first, baby, you have room to receive the blessings from the universe, especially after isolating from this situation. All right, Virgo. I like it, baby. I like it a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Really appreciate it. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Shout out to the Virgos for tuning in. If this is your story, that's awesome. If not, it's not your message. And no worries there. If this message didn't resonate with you, there will always be future videos on this channel. So better luck next time, okay? Virgo, real quick before I sign off, if you guys want to check out the Mercury Survival Candle or the Moving Forward Soap, it is going to be the first link in the description below. Give it a check out if you're interested, okay? All right, Virgo, I love you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your February, and I will catch you all in the next video. Much love to my Virgo peeps, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.